Thursday, June 11th, the opening matches of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is upon us. This is a very exciting time, and I've got a pick for both of the first two games here on Thursday, June 11th. So let's get right into it. First up, we got Mexico hosting South Africa in Mexico City, and the scenes are going to be immaculate down there in Mexico. Those fans have been waiting a long time for a home World Cup, and they have an opportunity here as big favorites at home against a lesser opponent in South Africa. When we look at this game, Mexico has the better players, okay? We look at the lineups for the two teams. I don't know a single player for this South African side. Mexico has players littered throughout the top 5 leagues in Europe. They've got a lot of good players from Mexico, from the Mexican league itself. Raul Jimenez, Alvarez, Montes, Lira. A lot of good players in this lineup here, and I guess Quiñones too is a pretty good team. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Mexico a whole lot in recent times, but they come in very good form. They've won 3 games in a row. They beat Serbia 5-1, they beat Australia 1-0, and they beat Ghana 2-0. They tied Belgium 1-1 back in March. They tied Portugal 0-0. Those are two very good European sides that they were able to get draws from, so those are two impressive results. Destroyed Iceland 4-0, beat Bolivia 1-0, beat Panama 1-0. The only loss they have was to Paraguay, and then they tied against 2 really good teams. So for me, I'm very confident that Mexico gets a win here. They're at home, they're going to have the home environment behind them, and they know that if they lose this game, this is going to be a serious issue for them because they're going to have to face both South Korea and Czechia coming up in their following 2 rounds. So those are 2 steps up in competition, and both of those teams can beat Mexico. So this is the game that Mexico needs to win. Mexico must win this game at home against a lesser opponent. They need to get off to a good start to build that momentum. They have to get 3 points. I see this being a type of game where South Africa sits back, they try to defend, they try to hang on for as long as possible, and they're just going to play a very defensive style. It's going to be all Mexico. I think Mexico is going to put a lot of pressure on South Africa, and they're ultimately going to get that 1 or 2 goals, and that's going to be it. I think Mexico wins this game 1-0, 2-0, maybe 3-0 if they get off to a fast start. Maybe they win it 2-1, but yeah, that leads me to my pick, which is Mexico to win and under 3.5 total goals parlayed at odds of -125. I don't see it being a high-scoring game at all. I definitely see it staying under 3.5 total goals, and I definitely see Mexico winning this game. When you look at South Africa's recent games, they tied against Jamaica 1-1. Jamaica's not a great team. They tied against Nicaragua 0-0. Again, Nicaragua, not a very good team. They lost to Panama 2-1. Panama's not great. They tied Panama 1-1. So they've played a lot of low-scoring games, and they're not winning against bad teams. They're losing against bad teams. They're tying against bad teams. And here, Mexico is better than Jamaica. Mexico is better than Nicaragua. Mexico is better than Panama. So Mexico at home should be able to get a win here, and the total should be able to stay under 3.5 total goals. Play is Mexico money line parlayed with the under 3.5 total goals at odds of -125 for 1.2 units of risk. All right, moving on to the second game here on the opening day of the FIFA World Cup in 2026. You've got South Korea and the Czech Republic, and this is going to be a fun one. South Korea ranked 25th in the FIFA World Rankings, Czech Republic ranked 41 in the FIFA World Rankings, but I think these two teams are much closer than those rankings suggest. South Korea just beat El Salvador 1-0, and they destroyed Trinidad and Tobago 5-0, but Czech Republic is better than both of those two squads. Before those 2 games, South Korea lost to Austria 1-0, and they got battered by Ivory Coast 4-0. So South Korea comes in some shaky form, and Czech Republic has won 5 games in a row. They defeated Guatemala. They defeated Kosovo. They defeated Denmark on penalties. They defeated Ireland on penalties. And they defeated Gibraltar. So Czech Republic comes in some pretty hot form. I know they've played not the best of teams, but they come in pretty good form. Meanwhile, South Korea, they lost to Brazil 5-0. When they've played the teams that are a little higher up in the competition, they have not played great. 2-2 draw to Mexico back last year in September. Overall, I think these two teams are very, very equal in terms of quality. When we look at these two teams' lineups, obviously for South Korea, the big names, Heung-min Son, the longtime Tottenham Hotspur player, and now he's with LAFC. You've got Hee Chan-Huang, who's been a really good player for Wolverhampton in the Premier League. And then you've got Kim Min-jae, who I believe was at Bayern Munich for some time. Not sure if he was still there this past season. For Czech Republic, you've got Patrick Schick, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen up top. He's a very, very in-form striker. I believe he plays for Bayer Leverkusen. Could be wrong about that. I know he plays in the German Bundesliga, though. You've got Vladimir Sufal, I believe is his name. Played for West Ham, was in the Premier League for a while. And then you got Souček, also a West Ham player. So some Premier League talents for Czech Republic, some quality players. These two teams are very equal for me, not much separating them. And I think that the way this group sets up, you have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic. I think the likes of Mexico, South Korea, and Czech Republic are three very even sides. All three of them are going to be banking on getting a win against South Africa, because South Africa is easily the worst out of all these four teams. The games against the other three, when the other three teams play each other, are going to be crucial. This is a game for both of these two teams that neither team can afford to lose. Neither one of these teams can afford to give up 3 points to the other side and start with 0 points to begin the World Cup. They just cannot afford to have it happen. So I think we get a very nervy, very cagey game here. I think both teams would be happy with a draw. I think that they would be very, very happy if they can each just take a point. I think with two very equal teams, not much separating the sides, and you have two teams that would be happy to take a draw, I think we have to bet the draw here at odds of plus 210 for half a unit. Take a shot. You got the big odds. It'll be a fun plus money wager to end your night. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. So those are my two plays for the first day of this World Cup in 2026. Just to recap, we're going to take Mexico money line and the under 3.5 total goals in that game, in the Mexico against South Africa game. And those odds come out to minus 125 for 1.2 units. And then we're going to take in the South Korea versus Czech Republic game, we're going to take the draw at odds of plus 210 for half a unit. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the first day of the World Cup. It's going to be absolutely wonderful, super exciting, and hope it gets off to a firing start. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.